they I'm still not 100% on the exact mechanics of this, but basically, if a grid, right, and the Texas grid it has its own, uh, uh, it's called interconnect. It's its own interconnect. Like the East Coast of the United States, and the East Coast of Canada form one interconnect. Texas forms another, and then the West Coast, the United States and Canada forms a third. And so the Texas grid, uh, needs to keep the frequency of the entire grid like in lockstep, or it can really damage things. You can actually demo this by like overvolting a handheld drill. It's not exactly the same because it's DC versus AC, but like if you over or undervolt, you can quickly like these motors quickly destroy themselves, and that was the main worry and why the shutdown happened. It's because the frequency started to dip too low, and they needed to release demand the from the grid, and that just means commanding a blackout. Because if they didn't, and the frequency continued to dip, it essentially would have like completely and catastrophically destroyed like all of Texas's generation, and they would have had a blackout for much longer.
The other funny, sad thing I heard from that situation was the, those people that come around your house and say, "Hey, this is PSE&G here. We're mandated to tell you that it's possible that third-party resellers can try to find a more." I don't even know the scheme. Basically, energy costs more during the day when demand is high, and less during night when demand is low, and they try to use this to like get more money out of you, basically. But if you're smart about it, it can make it so that you save a lot on energy. And there were, I guess, people in Texas that didn't read what they'd signed, and received bills for like 10 grand worth of energy a particular month.
Yeah, that is actually a particular quirk of only Texas. Their energy market is completely deregulated, and it's run by people called retailers. And these retailers are...
That sounds like a GW scheme. That's got to be a GW thing.
100%.
Yeah.
So retailers are people who they do not own generation. They don't own transmission equipment. They don't own any equipment at all. They essentially try to find energy arbitrage.
Yeah.
In order to make money, and it is such a low effort fucking business. There are.
I don't know, man. So like compared to how many of the new billionaires made in 2020 actually made something physical, as opposed to just find a new way to trade more efficiently and skim just a little bit more off the top of everyone else's. Maybe this is getting polemical.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Energy retailers are just like any of that genre of bullshit. The fucking hyper capitalists, like everything has to be a marketplace, fucking nonsense.
Yeah, it really does.
Not everything has to be a marketplace. Sometimes people just need fucking heat, douchebags.
I don't know. How does this contribute to the over 50s retirement accounts?
So true, dude. We gotta be thinking about fucking Fidelity Target 2030, man. What are those guys? We gotta invent a new securitization of something that we all fucking take for granted, so that people can speculate on it and then just destroy it. Love that. That'll be great. Fucking like all of the products that like, completely tank the economy.
Yeah, if
back, but in different names.
If I'm being fair and I'm pointing out what I think is a German pathology of over-engineering, the American analog would be the financialization, and we've exported this. It's actually, I think, a neoliberal, maybe. Well, I would call it a neoliberal invention. Of, as you say, everything becomes a packaged security that is given a grade and sold in bundles to intermediaries, and people are forwarding and people are trading ahead and behind of it in order to just skim off just a little bit more cream. I mean, it really is sick.
And you know what like it gets worse the further you go, right? Like, people are so desperate to have something like that. People are so fucking desperate. They think that crypto's a good idea. they're so fucking desperate to wear the boot. They can't even imagine a life without the boot. All they can imagine is like, what if I wore the boot? And so they turn their fucking hobbies into this bullshit racket. Like, why does Magic the Gathering need to have a fucking stock market based on like why does Pokemon need a grading system when you could just fucking Babby's first, like, dude, I hate that shit so much. Turning absolutely everything into a market. It's a huge mistake.
Oh, and well, I think the most recent flagrant example that I saw was the Ubisoft blockchain service for microtransactions, and when gamers on the internet were like critical of the sort of greedy obsession with ringing them for every dollar for their beloved franchise, the CEO of Ubisoft said that they just didn't understand it.
We definitely do understand it. You guys just don't understand. Leave it to fucking Ubisoft. Oh man, yeah, it gets me. Me fucking roided up. But yeah, not everything needs to be a market, but here we are. I watched the greatest piece of 2008 financial crisis apologia ever yesterday for the first time. A movie called Margin Call. I don't know if you've seen this thing.
I haven't heard of that, no.
It is a movie about all of the. It takes place on a fictional trading floor of a mortgage-backed security fucking focused investment bank, and Kevin Spacey has to put his dog down, and then he has to go to the office and fucking do this thing that he's morally questioning. He just doesn't know if he can do it, and he ends up doing it because he needs the money because he's fucking divorced his wife, and you're supposed to just feel so bad for these fucks, and it's like I just didn't the whole movie. I was just like, this doesn't this is fun. This is like a fun drama, but I do not give a shit about these characters. But I also think the movie was trying to say that too. The movie actually did not really have a fucking direction. It was half the time it was fucking Occupy Wall Street, and the other half of the time it was the fucking underlying securities were actually a good idea, and it just didn't work out because of other reasons. It's like, all right.
Yeah, I've seen some on Hacker News the other day. I saw some debate about TARP and the bailouts, of which I would be naturally sort of hostile to. You can sort of begrudgingly get to me to admit that maybe it's necessary, maybe it was necessary, but you will probably not get me to the point where I would say it was a good thing, and I'll get to that in a second. But the arguments that I saw were that these were investments that the government made that have paid off, as in it is now, they've paid off the loans that they've taken, and the government now owns a substantive stake in Fannie and Freddie, and this is good because, I mean, if the government has it, then the public has it. But I think what that fails to capture is that it signals to the entire economy that if you do things that are so risky that it could potentially end the party for everyone, don't worry, Uncle Sam is going to come and just eat up all that risk, and you can go live on your private island.
So I have become way more cynical on this particular one, relatively recently. I think it's like the choreographed duopoly at play here, because here's the timeline of events, right? Huge deregulation under Bush, Clinton, Bush again, right? Huge financial deregulation led directly to the risky plays that led to the financial crisis. That's a pretty generous reading of history, right? So, all right, party's over. Uncle Sam bails it out, like you said, but comes with a whole bunch of restrictions through Dodd-Frank, and Dodd-Frank is around for around 7 years, and everybody gets like deleverage or whatever the buzzword is called, and then out comes the Republicans, and immediately and without like fucking filibusters to stop it, tons of financial deregulation starts happening, takes all the teeth out of Dodd-Frank, and we're right back to like this deregulation cycle. So it's gonna fucking happen again, because it is in the ruling class's best interest to have this be a cycle, as opposed to like a permanent fix. And a permanent fix would be to fucking force these banks to like not be so leveraged. It's fucking crazy how much they can get away with. As far as, like,
agreed. Yeah.
As far as like 30-1 on the books, like 30-1. You spend 30 times the amount of money that
The thing is that you just need to come up with sort of sophisticated instruments in order to justify the 30-1 number, and it's okay. But yeah, if you just do it raw, you're gonna get in trouble.
Yeah. And then it's like the classic captured regulator, of course.
Okay, so
Your analysts going on to have like,
tomorrow there is a disaster, and the board of directors of the Federal Reserve are all no longer able to do their job, and for some weird reason, they called you, and they said, "Sir, it's the president. He wants you to be chairman of the Federal Reserve." All right, CJ, what's monetary policy?
Oh man, see, I don't even think monetary policy is the correct way to go about it. The kind of changes that I think need to be made are legislative and therefore will not happen.
But see, this is the thing. Like, it's as much as I disagree with the direction that we're going now, someone that actually has control over something, actually has a mandate, is the chairman of the Federal Reserve. He actually can do something. Nothing's going to happen in Congress. I mean, midterms are going to be a complete wash. Republicans are slated to, dominate, right? Last I checked.
Oh yeah, it's not even close, and the fucking Democrats deserve it because they like the fucking mask is slipping, man. Like I'm tired of fucking like whatever decades Joe Lieberman coming around and just getting his fucking knob slobbed by moneyed special interests in America. It's just fucking ridiculous. We keep falling for it. It's like
it's actually been since Obama that the rhetoric has been, yes, I know we haven't done anything, but just think of how bad it would be if the other side got elected. It's like, well, I mean, is that it? Is that really it?
Yeah, vote for us because vote for us because trans athletes like it's like fucking ridiculous like wedge issue bullshit. Meanwhile, at Kristen Cinema headquarters, like.
She's gonna get such a high-paying job when she leaves. I think she's even said she's not running in another term, right? She's just like admitted that this is all just about accruing as much goodwill amongst the sort of business community, the Chamber of Commerce, that she's gonna get some sort of cozy contractor gig when she leaves.
Dude, she is a sad, maladjusted, fucking sociopath of a woman. It is ridiculous. Her like background is like wunderkind, fucking like went to college at 14 or some shit, like constantly being pushed by her family, like bred for this life. Like, what a fucking sad existence, man. Like, didn't even get a chance. Like, it's just ridiculous to me that like this is who fucking Arizona elects. This like fucking mask of a human is ridiculous. It's like, oh, well, they're better than the alternative. It's like, I guess. I mean, it's a fucking neo-lib consensus. You've got one side that's super into fucking treating gay people like people, and you got the other side that's fucking super into rights of the unborn, or however you want to phrase it. Like, it's all these like cultural wedge issues, but nobody talks about how the fucking Department of Defense is a force for evil and just fucking can't be trusted to do anything right, and we just are supposed to believe them without question. And if we don't, we get fucking accused of being like listening to the Kremlin. Did you see that shit today?
It's that is just one of the saddest things that has happened as a course of Trump and Russiagate. It's just this, like, levy all the criticism you want against the United States about being a nation in decline, a declining superpower, decrepit on the world stage, whatever it is that you want, evil to Iran. All of those criticisms actually apply probably like 4 orders of magnitude to Russia, and yet apparently, Rachel Maddow's entire audience is like if you just go watch any of her recent segments, they're still obsessed.
Yep. well, so that's MSNBC, right? But there was a couple there was a supposed ISIS leader that was fucking killed today in a precision strike that also killed 7 children.
Oh yeah. I did hear about that, and
a reporter asked Jen Psaki, like, do you have any proof that he detonated a suicide bomb? And she's like, well, if you'd rather listen to ISIS, like, it's like, bitch.
Right, and this comes right after the incident, right when Joe Biden was elected, where like he wanted to show that he still had strength or whatever, and he wanted to what was it? Show that they're still tough despite the fact that they're surrendering. So they what was it that they did? Yes, they airstriked a house from a drone, believing that it was some big bad terrorist, and it turns out it was just a bunch of innocent people. And when it finally came out, they said, "Oh, we'll investigate it." No one's been fired. No one's been punished. No one's even been made to say sorry. It's just been covered up. And this supposedly the most sophisticated fighting force in the world. I mean, it is. It's actually, yeah. It makes me so mad.
The incident that you're thinking of is in the final days of the American retreat from Kabul. They fucking airstruck a vehicle that shared a color with a vehicle that they were fucking looking for, and then just lied, said that there was secondary explosions that caused this courtyard to be completely covered in the blood and guts of this man's entire fucking family. And as it turns out, he worked with NGOs delivering water. And the fucking things that they were that they claimed to have seen in the videos, that was just water evaporating after a fucking hellfire missile got dropped on him and on his family. So yeah, forgive me, Jen Psaki. I don't fucking believe you. I say,
of course.
The fucking 6 kids that died in the latest raid on the latest fucking...
Right, and every care was taken to avoid all possible loss of life. Alright, what specifically did you do? Really, what did you actually do in order to defend against the possibility that this armed terrorist... Well, it is infuriating.
It's completely ridiculously infuriating. And another thing that's stupidly infuriating is, like, why the fuck do we give Navy SEALs the time of day? Why the fuck do we revere these people? They're fucking murderers. They fucking admitted to shooting like 2 of the kids today. It's like, oh yeah, you guys took a huge number of caution. That's why you fucking killed that 6-year-old. Like, good job, buddy. They're fucking sickos, dude. It's ridiculous. Like, people give these like former SEALs the time of day, and it's absolutely fucking insane to me that is the case. Like, just literal assassins, literal fucking like roided up killers, and we're like, oh, I wonder how I can improve my life by fucking like making my bed every day and fucking never ringing the bell. And it's like, you fucking dweebs, dude. Like, and like the government already admits to like fucking murking American citizens. So it's like, why would you ever
and
trust these people?
There could be circumstances. I mean, as I understand it, the phenomenon we're talking about is just the nail in the coffin is an idiom that fails to capture how dead the credibility of the executive branch is. But they used to call this the credibility crisis. I believe it was after Watergate that the public sort of realized, oh my God, I mean, maybe they're not telling us the whole truth. But before Watergate, as I understand, I wasn't around, obviously, but I'm told that, and you'll still hear it from the opposition media, and I mean opposition media in the sense of currently it's Fox News. they'll talk about reverence for the office, beneath the dignity, these sorts of things. It was high time for that in Trump, unprecedented, beneath the dignity, these sorts of things. But and there could be circumstances in which I would trust what was coming out of the White House. But when their credibility, when Joe Biden's approval rating is lower than even Trump's at this point in his presidency, and that's not to speak of anything of sort of disaster that is Kamala Harris. I mean, as I understand it, like they're coming up with new ways of measuring negative numbers in mathematical treaties to determine how unpopular she is. I will not believe that because they wanted this to be their Osama bin Laden moment. That's what this was when I watched the speech. It was we got him, kick down the door, high fives, we slap butts.
Seals in this time.
Yeah.
We minimize casualties. It's like you did a really fucking good job of that. You're admitting to killing 6 kids. Lots of fucking. Which casualties were you fucking preventing if you weren't preventing those ones? Like, what the? Ooh, bro.
Because wasn't that what this was supposed to be? It's our approval is terrible. Let's send in the SEALs.
That's certainly what it feels like.
Yeah.
Also, nobody had heard of this guy until you fucking got
right, and it just landed like a wet fish. Like no one it was like it was even the media, usually the sort of most eager transcribers of the CIA narrative, were just like, yes, okay, what, who, where?
Yeah. What the fuck are you talking about? Yeah. We got him. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Yeah. It landed so badly.
I saw a video today. About a fucking a brain damaged greeter at a fucking Al Qaeda rival training camp. Like, yes, a military like training facility, but not like a direct. But he was described as the Al Qaeda director of operations. This guy named Abu Zubaydah, just like this fucking mentally ill guy who's still in prison, like still in Guantanamo Bay.
I honestly, I don't really get why they're going through all the... Like, this seems like a really complicated way of getting your approval rating up. If I were in Joe Biden's
really
position...
The way is you just fucking break you break Manchin's kneecaps. And you fucking tell him that you're gonna skin his daughter alive.
Actually, dude, I would suspect... I know what you're talking about. I'm not sure that everyone is as tuned in. I'm not sure Joe Manchin has the name ID... for the types of popularity numbers that Joe Biden really needs to see. I think what I would do is I'd go, like, do you remember that supply chain crisis? Like, go to the port of LA, wear a hard hat, say, we're moving these goddamn, what are they, shipping containers. That's an easy one. Recently, in their defense, they actually got what is it, don't know if it's president or Kafir. They got the Kafir of Qatar over to say that he's going to make more oil. That's the sort of stuff that they should be doing and making a big deal out of it. But instead, they're jumping through these bizarre hoops, like I'm trying to think what have been some of the recent announcements. I remember. Kamala Harris went on, was it Tyler who was it? Whose show was it? It was that morning show, Charlemagne the God, and just like, so unlikable. I don't know, it seems like it should be so easy to just put on a big show of making a difference in people's lives. Like those checks that went out, a fraction of the sort of overall, relief package, and yet whoever's name is signed on those checks gets a huge popularity bump. So why are you bothering printing trillions for billionaires when you could just send a pittance out to the unwashed masses and it actually makes their lives better and they like you more. I don't know how they're so bad at this.
It's because they're not on the side of the American people. They're straight up not on the side of the American people. We had 12,000 cases a day, and the fucking man that's closest to fascism that this country has ever seen sent out fucking $2,000 checks, and meanwhile the fucking man that's supposed to be the working man's president is out here being like, get back to work, Jack. Just like,
yeah. What do you want us to just send free tests to people? That's crazy. 2 months later, we're gonna send free tests to people. Yeah, nice job. Nice job.
I haven't gotten that shit in the mail, by the way. Submitted in order form. That shit never came.
Actually, you saying that reminds me that maybe Trump was good at this. Like, do you remember when that ship sailed into New York? I mean, that was just like, people came out and took pictures of it. That's the sort of political stunt that makes people like you. Not murdering a family. What is wrong with you?
Yeah, a whole fucking family. Yeah, and then just to fucking like show us the proof that anything that you're saying is real, and then to be like, oh well, if you want to just believe, if you want to believe ISIS, like go ahead. And it's like, you're fucking lunatics. You fucking absolute lunatics. It's crazy. And then like, and the other one that I was referencing is this like State Department. The State Department brief, the guy gets on stage. He's like, "We have reason to believe that Russia is going to perpetrate a false flag propaganda film as a pretense for invading Ukraine." And it's like, the guy asks, "Do you have any proof of that?" And the guy says, "Yeah, the proof is I just said
it." No way.
This clip is excruciating.
I mean, that does essentially amount to what the usual... Well, I was fooled by it when I first saw it, but the usual playbook is major news organization has heard from their sources in the intelligence and defense industry on background, on anonymity, that there is reason to believe that blah... that gets cited in the media, and then the intelligence services use that, and the executive use that as evidence that it's true, and that's modern propaganda. That's how they do it these days. So it's just cutting out the middleman. If they've just said, the proof is that I just said it. Now stop asking questions.
Yep. Where's the proof? I just said it. You have to. Are you gonna listen to me, or are you gonna listen to the Kremlin?
Yeah.
It's like, oh,
are you writing this down? Are you taking notes?
Are you gonna listen to me, just some fucking guy, or are you gonna listen to the Kremlin, who's also just some fucking guy, but Russian this time? It's like, well, you're supposed to listen to us because we're the Americans. It's like, that shit doesn't fucking work anymore, my dude. That shit doesn't fucking work anymore.
Yeah, if there's going to be any silver lining to any of this, it's the existence of the internet, and some people are calling it open source intelligence, has made this a lot more difficult for the usual playbook, as in the Iraq War playbook. Specifically, Ukraine's Twitter has been publishing sort of live retractions of things that the State Department says. As in, for instance, they recently said, hey, diplomats, come back home, we're recalling our diplomats. And literally everyone in Europe, including the Ukrainian Twitter account, said that this was a way unnecessary ramping up of tensions. Whereas previously, a move like that would have got reported in the New York Times, and just the entire nation would just have been aghast. And now we actually get to hear live other people's point of view. I mean, it is amazing.
That's one of the reasons why this this recent ISIS killing was like so immediately and thoroughly thrown into skepticism. Is like there was a woman who was the neighbor of this house that no longer exists that was interviewed immediately afterwards. Like, and she was like, yeah, you know, and it was like a really fucking frightening story, directly contradicted what they were claiming, like directly. It wasn't even, it was like, yeah, we sent the SEALs in and we fucking, you know, we did our best to reduce the harm of this fucking military operation by sending the world's greatest killers in, right? That's like that's the less harm version, by the way. We did our best to reduce all this harm, yada yada yada. Look how good we did. You know, only 6 kids killed, or sorry, 7. Only 7 children dead. Fucking smattered all over what used to be the 3rd floor. Oh, by the way, here's a picture of the house. And here's a picture of the house after the attack. It's like the entire floor is gone. It's like,
Yeah, the weird thing
like
was
right?
the really just absurd thing was the tone was expecting of praise. Like it was said with such fanfare and such pomp and circumstance, and you could actually feel even the media's response during Joe Biden's speech of just what?
Yeah, what the fuck are you talking about? Yeah, it's actually kind of sick. So it's not even kind of sick. It is just it's completely repulsive. This fucking ooh boy. We got him. Did you? Did you? Doesn't seem like you got him. I was reading some very depressing reporting that basically like the entire world can like suddenly and abruptly start rowing in the right direction when it comes to climate change, and it's still not going to be enough because the Department of Defense can literally ruin it all on their own. Do you know they're the #1 fucking
burner of fossil fuels? Yeah, if you count them like along with Exxon, right? Like if you count them like along with other like major multinationals, they're like #1 by far.
They're uncontested, like no asterisks, #1 consumer of liquid liquid fossil fuels in the world. Like #1, not even close. Liquid fossil fuels being, you know, diesel, jet fuel, gasoline, bunker oil, like all this shit. #1, not even close. #1 use of aviation fuel actually is the Department of Defense. Not even close. Which is crazy. It's like they're not transporting all that many people on the fucking on the Navy and the Air Force airplanes. Like, yeah, it's I think fucking save the world, cut the budget by fucking 60%. Department of Defense austerity now. And if they have to fire soldiers, they have to fire soldiers. Maybe make a fucking jobs program for those people that are getting kicked out to go fucking hang solar panels or whatever the fuck. I don't care. Like, that shit. Something's got to change. Something's got to change and quick because it's. Well, I mean, you read my fucking takes, so.
On my little pet topic, have you heard the latest about Battlefield 2042?
No, what's going on with that?
So they have delayed Season 1 content, which is a couple new maps and some new operators, or specialists as they call them, which was promised to be bundled in their Gold and Ultimate editions, I will add. They delayed it until the summer.
Oh my goodness.
They said that, it's gonna be. They're gonna ship a version of a scoreboard soon, but after community feedback that it didn't show kills, it's gonna be. They're gonna change the scoreboard after the new scoreboard they're already shipping, so that it includes kills, but it's gonna take months.
Did they fire like all their devs?
I don't, dude. I don't know what is going on at DICE. I really don't.
What fucked up back-end architecture do you have that like having a scoreboard is hard?
The crazy thing is that they shipped something called Battlefield Portal, which is actually very, very clever. It lets you it's basically, you know, that the Halo, it's like a very sophisticated version of that Halo match customizer where you can set, you know, I think it even has things as sophisticated as little scripts you can write. A very sophisticated game editor that's clearly one of their like internal tools they use to create games opened up to the public, and I think it's like an amazing little thing for the longevity of the game. Yeah, the scoreboard, like it should be like a template, like a templating system or something. Like it really should be. I don't know what's going on, and my cynical take is that it must be that in order to like make the game more accessible to beginners, they like removed deaths because deaths make people feel bad. You want people to be engaged on platforms that just don't have deaths. I mean, I don't know.
I think that this to me smells more of like a crippling fucking fundamental like network backend choice where like fucking each person's death counter is like a little microservice that you have to query, and it's like fucking never in sync, and there's always race conditions.
But wait a minute, this is EA and DICE. These are the people that publish FIFA, the same game, year after year after year, and just presumably update some config files. Surely Battlefield is the same way. Like, the community would have been very happy with, what is it, Battlefield 4? I didn't play that one, but people really like that one. You're still using the same engine, presumably.
No, I think that they completely redid their network stack because they wanted to do 128.
Oh, I got you, yeah.
And so instead of doing like a traditional centralized, you know, like server client architecture where, you know, where there's like a lot of client side simulation and server side verification kind of thing. I'm assuming that there's a lot of shit pushed out to the edge, including experience, which would mean including scoreboards. And so like having a centralized scoreboard actually would put a lot of this is just theory crafting, honestly. But
yeah, no, I got you.
It's the thing that makes the most sense to me as to like why the scoreboard would take months. I think it's their network architecture, and it's a consequence of having to do 128 person battles on previous gen consoles, and so that mistake is pretty huge in a lot of different ways. or I think it's a mistake.
Yeah, well, it's also a mistake because I really enjoy Battle Royale, which is 100% in general experiences. So I think, given that they're a AAA studio, they should definitely get on that. But Battlefield classically was 64 players, and no one was like, I would really like 64 more players in this mode. I don't think. But
yeah, nobody wants fucking Microsoft SQL Server to have blockchain, but they are adding it anyway. And you know why? Because it's investor bait, dude. There are people with these publicly traded video game companies that literally make investment decisions based off of like press briefings. They'll do like earnings reports and press briefings, and then they'll be like, yeah, with the new Battlefield coming out, it's just pure investor bait. Like, the gamers didn't really want it, the fucking people didn't really want to build it, but by golly, does 128 sound like more than 64? Does that sound like more than all of the competitors? Oh my god. Wow.
Wait. If this is going full circle to how financialization is literally ruining everything, including our escapism, I'm gonna be furious.
That's what I'm claiming, and I think that I'm right. Oh boy, 64, that's double? Double that? That's 28? Fucking, I'm confident in the earnings report for quarter 2. I'm going to be targeting 2022. Let's fucking buy some puts, baby. Like,
well, and the other thing that I think, okay, we're blaming institutional and institutional investors. The other thing that I learned that it seems like a lot of people haven't is do not pre-order. What is wrong with you? We've been over this so many times with so many companies and so many times with EA specifically. Do not pre-order.
Yeah, I played the beta because I got it through the fucking Game Pass, dude. And I was just so mad because it was so bad. And I was like, oh, well, it's only a beta. It's like, well, the game's supposed to release in a fucking week. You calling this a beta? I don't think this is a beta. This is like a little advertisement. This is like an old school demo or something. I don't know what you want to call it, but it isn't. It's not a fucking beta. Like, and then I was right. It came out and it was the same. It was fucking bad. And I uninstalled it and I didn't look back. Speaking of uninstalled and haven't looked back, have you played Warzone in a while?
Warzone?
Yeah.
I have not played Warzone in a while, no. It seemed like Caldera launched to like initially quite good reviews, and it's also seemed like it's one of those games that, I mean, it really pains me, but in terms of content and in terms of creating a game that's engaging to play for really all ages and also engaging to watch and to stream as a content creator, I mean, I think they're doing a great job. Granted, it's kind of like saying, those poppy seed farmers in Afghanistan, really have a product people want. Because I do agree, like, it's trashy, but it's well done. I especially relative to what's going on in the rest of the industry, it's granted, Call of Duty's pedigree, and maybe this is getting pretentious now, those early Call of Duty games, United Offensive, Call of Duty 2 in particular, Call of Duty 2 blew my mind. And like early Modern Warfare, I mean, really very good games. And I think maybe I'm being curmudgeonly. The industry and the marketplace has moved on. People don't pay $80 for a game as much anymore. I mean, some suckers did with Battlefield. People pay for skins and for, this. They in terms of just doubling numbers. I think it's now like 20 attachments on every gun. Is this right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like that is crazy. It's getting stupid. I've heard that Warzone 2 is going to be a clean sheet, which I think is a good move.
That actually does sound like a really good move. One of the things that was so impressive to me about Warzone from a technical perspective is that it worked at all. Like, like being the stitching together of what is essentially two completely different engines and having a workflow that's like usable enough to where like your developers weren't committing suicide, like, or maybe they were, but like the suicide rate was like acceptable to the fucking corporate, to the corporations. Like
the rate of self-harm did not exceed the rate of new hires.
right, which is not easy for video games because they despite being curbillion-dollar industries, can't seem to pay their fucking people correctly, which I guess is why they're curbillion-dollar industries. Passion prey. I'm gonna play Halo because there's supposed to be a big team battle update that makes the mode actually usable, which is very exciting. Do you know what Moody's is?
Is it the group that ranks debt?
Credit ratings? Oh, are these guys the people that were fucking... Oh, yeah. You're right, that is who it is. Very interesting. They want a principal DevOps engineer. Which sounds like a fucking nightmare. I do not want to work in highly regulated spaces. I like regulation. Don't want to work in it.
More of it, not around me.
Yeah, exactly. The true lib.
It seems like the Lambertville is really having an effect on you. The NIMBYism is really getting out of control.
The NIMBYism. Yeah, I actually do very much want more development to happen in this. Oh no! Oh, I'm dying. Very much want more development to happen in this town, but they killed the last one that came on the referendum because they didn't want the new police station to be in a flood zone. To which I say, fuck them. Put them in a flood zone. People don't live at a police station. Can't build houses there. But dude, why am I getting dominated in this fucking video game right now? you played much Halo?
I played like the first 15 minutes of the campaign. I know it's not... Well, actually, in fairness, I played like a couple hours worth of it, and really enjoyed it. I'm just not particularly in the mood in general to... I'm never like, load up my Windows box. I don't know. Just been in a weird mood recently.
It's been a struggle to log on to the fun shit, or the supposedly fun shit. Oh man, I just got killed. Yeah, I've been having a pretty good time working on learning functional programming.
I occasionally watch a YouTube video from Choco Taco, or let me think, who else do I have? Wacky Jackie, since PUBG went free to play, and I've deluded myself into thinking that maybe PUBG is fun. Happens occasionally, and I sort of have that urge to get into it again. Now they have a training mode as well. That somehow satisfies my sadistic urge to turn all fun things into chores.
That's so funny. I also have that disease.
Yeah.
Oh, this seems pretty fun. How can I fucking turn this into a market? Time market of myself. For your loyal viewers, that was a callback.
Oh, we got a concurrent viewer that's probably you right now. Supposedly probably three people have apparently tuned in. No one's commented, but it's not really about that. I'm throwing shit against the wall right now. I look at if you look at the YouTube live section in general, you'll find at the very top someone with like, thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, whatever, live viewers. And then right next to it, you'll see someone with like 100. And I'm just thinking like, okay. If I'm doing something that isn't sensitive, I'll let YouTube be my, store my video of what I do. I don't mind. And we'll see where it goes. I have sort of half the notion of, I've done teaching online once and done teaching in person, iOS development a lot. Don't do iOS so much anymore. So maybe it turns into like, we'll see what happens when I get this app done.
Cool. Yeah, I've thought about streaming programming also, just for shits and giggles. I also think that having some sort of like content to show people is always a good thing in this industry, when like, be it an article, be it like something, got my thoughts. Like, I have actually a ton of outlines for articles I want to write about some of the novel shit I've been doing with Terraform. I've been like doing things that have like no fucking Google responses and stuff. I'm like, oh no, this is new. Oh, I don't want it to be new. But I managed to figure out some pretty cool fucking shit. And it's like, I shouldn't be the only person that knows how to do this, because this is actually really useful. But then I, play video games instead of writing that article.
Something that I've been doing recently as well that might help with that, maybe you already do this, is I find I was going to bed before I was tired, and this meant that I would get a poor night's sleep because I would struggle to fall asleep. Now I just stay up until until I get tired, and then I sleep, and I wake up when I wake up. I'm a contractor, so no one's, asking for me to be at a meeting at a time. So, and instead of thinking of every hour past 12 as like dead time, as in like it's just time that we need to go to sleep before we wake up to, go back to harvesting wheat. I think like these hours are as important as any other, and I should, like try to use them to forward some of my aims.
Yeah, it's a really cool way of putting it. I have not thought about it that much. I also kind of just want to fucking write enough about HashiCorp so that they just hire me. Because I fucking love working with their shit. Although I guess that doesn't mean I would necessarily like working for the company. If I like working with their product.
Let me just check. I can't remember if it's HashiCorp that someone I know works there. I could... Let me see. Well, he hasn't done anything on GitHub recently, so maybe he's not. Let's see, what the hell? Why can't I search my own friends on GitHub? Okay. Oh yeah, it is HashiCorp. I know someone that works at... I mean, this is very rare that I get to say this, but I know someone that works at HashiCorp that I could put you in touch with if you are serious.
Probably not until my company either fucking makes it or doesn't.
It's all good, dude. Whenever I know this guy, he's a good guy, and he would be...
What's he do there?
Let's see, I actually have no idea. He recently starred Next.js, so that's a... He's also got something... Or he forked Next.js, actually. And he forked something in Go. He forked Vagrant.
Oh, interesting. Is it? I wonder if Vagrant is a HashiCorp.
It is, yeah. That's why I mentioned it here.
I always forget if Vagrant is or not. Vagrant is in... I use... Vault Terraform is fucking awesome. I use Vault, Terraform, Packer. Been trying to get into Console, and yeah, I mean, they have such a nice core of shit.
They have like a Japanese anime villain corporation name.
They do. They do. Japanese anime villain. That's pretty much it. They have a Japanese anime villain like corporation name, and they also have like pictures online that make them look like the first company that you see the very first episode of Silicon Valley where they're at that party and fucking Kid Rock is there and they're like, yeah, we're gonna be able to do and they're like fucking losing their minds and it's like, I do know that we're gonna be able to increase the efficiency of networks on the edge, like getting super fucking hype about what is essentially nonsense and not worth thinking about outside of like tech fetishism. That's another thing that's about like crypto is like it's just fucking technology. Fetishism, it's like technology for technology's sake. Just because the system's different doesn't mean it's better. So tell me why it's why is this better?
Yeah, I mean the question that that kills the crypto shell to me is okay, what is this thing's fundamental value? Explain to me what its fundamental value is.
It is it's hard to say. You know, it's one Bitcoin's always worth one Bitcoin. Like,
Okay.
yeah, literally like hundreds of years of financial of like financial trickery and like deep amounts of thoughts, tons of research says that deflation is bad, but actually in crypto it's good. You see, we want to design deflationary monetary systems because reasons. Quinn's like, digital gold, I'm like, so worthless.
Yeah, and as I understand it, one of the things that is good about gold that makes it retain its value is the argument that essentially, like, the world ends and the internet's off, and you can still trade it for cigarettes or whatever it is that you want. When the world ends and, you know, the United States government crumbles or whatever it is that, you know, fundamental stores of value are good for, what are you going to do with your internet bucks exactly when the power's out?
Right. Yeah, that's one of my big arguments against is you have a system that is entirely dependent on electricity continuing to be a thing, not a system that's built for contingencies.
Right, and I mean another thing is they say that it's decentralized with that, but who do you think controls the power grid, you doofus?
Yeah, it's also decentralized, but like just like, you know, the current internet was also not a central thing and then only became a central thing through complexity and through gatekeeping and capital. What the fuck do you think is going to happen to crypto, you fucking knuckle dragger? you think that just all of these exchanges that you need in order to like turn your fucking fake money into other fake money are going to just play nice with each other and agree to like cordon off sections of their like territory and play just super extra nice and everybody's gonna have the fucking choice of the free market? It's like, no, just like all anarcho-capitalism, just fucking absolute dog water arguments, it just turns into fiefdoms with a different name. Oh my god, dude. Like, it doesn't even pass the smell test. That's why it's like, why do I have to take this seriously? What fucking universe am I living in where I have to think about this at all? Like, it should be obvious. Yeah, but the blockchain is actually good and cool because immutable. Yeah, that's why. We're gonna put an entire social media network on the blockchain. It's like, well, what happens when somebody posts fucking child porn? I guess child porn's on the blockchain.
Having said that, I wish I bought a Bitcoin in college, but whatever. You can make these arguments about all sorts of things, so it's not exactly unique.
Yeah, I mean, sure. Is a large part of my argument coming from how my fucking politics have developed over the past, like, 15 years? Absolutely. I don't think, you can escape that. And would my politics be different if I had the fucking survivorship bias of being like big crypto boy? Very, very, very likely. So, my lack of a position in Bitcoin is certainly coloring my view on the tech.
Sure, and then I mean, if the cynical take is that this is all no coin or cope. It's like, okay, I'll see you in 10 years, buddy.
I really also don't like that Quinn's like fucking I just want to grill tier arguments are gonna be correct. I'm just like, you're right, but I wish you were. He's like, yeah, crypto is it's like .com, like there's gonna be an Amazon somewhere in here, so it's worth looking at. I'm like, God, fuck you. You're right. It's not going away forever, even though I'd like it to. Although, is the crypto crash even still happening? I haven't looked in a while. Oh, they skyrocketed today. Cool. That's very cool. Love that.
Thank you, Bitcoin. Very cool.
Well, that doesn't look like skyrocket to me, but I guess there is a blip.
It's very volatile. I've heard speculation. People think it's roughly following. Like people view it as a tech stock, basically. It doesn't make any sense, but they view it as a tech stock. And so if the market, broadly, if the Nasdaq is up, Bitcoin is up. Nasdaq is down. Bitcoin is down. Which should be very worrying to us if our fundamental stores of value don't make any sense. By the way, that is a problem.
Is it though?
People are like, no, I'll just short it and make a fortune. Oh, great! $250 billion wiped out overnight, and your ingenious idea is that you should have shorted it. Yeah, that's what this world's come to. Great.
Yeah, there's this one of the characters from the Big Short, who's a real person, this guy named Dr. Michael Burry.
Oh, I've heard of that guy, yeah.
Yeah, he was the first person, he invented the financial mechanisms that allowed the housing market to be shorted at all.
Yeah, I've heard of this guy.
Came up with the idea, he went over to the fucking banks in New York and he basically said, I want to do this, this is the financial product I want, will you make it for me? And the banks were like, yeah, dude, you're gonna pay fucking premiums on the insurance, but hell yeah, we'll let you spend money. We don't care. Why not? And so anyway, he spends all this money. It creates these like knock-on effects, these knock-on financial instruments, and he then like goes on TV like 2010 in a pretty rare interview because he shut down his hedge fund, and he said, you know, one of the things that's striking to me is that nobody's taking responsibility for what happened. It's like, dude, you invented one of the financial mechanisms that caused this speculation where, like, if he hadn't done what he had done, the amount of money betting on mortgages being good would have been like 10 to 1, but because he did it, it ended up going to that 30 to 1 fucking number, where like, you know, 10 million, you know, $100 million in fucking mortgages had somewhere around $1 billion worth of like bets being placed on it through like collateralized debt obligations and fucking collateralized debt obligations on the collateralized debt obligations. And it's like, you started that, buddy, and you're going on and complaining about people not taking responsibility for what happened. It's like, I don't know, it's just kind of mind-blowing to me that they can't keep getting away with it.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Halo's gotten to that point where the people who are still playing are way better than me.
Isn't it ranked?
I think it's like what's that? The unranked is like got a hidden rank, and then the ranked is ranked. the announcer in this game just tried to one more me. It's like, dude, we're not homies.
Well, it said, like, are you sure you want to quit?
No, like I lost that game and it was like, I'm not going out like that.
Oh, right, yeah.
I'm like, no, pretty sure we're going out like that, my dude.
Hey, what's going on, Dave?
What's up?
Just so you know,
What's
I am streaming right now. Just
Streaming?
well, I went to the gym, but I am streaming at this particular moment.
Alright, I will.
I just don't want you to say really any of your political opinions, because I know that would haunt you forever in the employment sphere.
Of course.
Would it? Dude, there's one thing I've learned is that everyone's simultaneously more and less sophisticated than anybody else would have you believe.
So I'm teasing Dave, but I do think it's important that you do share if you're streaming.
That's a good point. Yeah, it's like a.
Where's the fucking?
It's like what am I trying to say? Like a polite, like a courtesy, like a thing that functioning people in society should do. I'm streaming. Thank you. Thank you for telling me.
Okay, there we go. So how much of a delay is there?
I think it's like maybe on the order of 10 seconds, something like that.
About to find out. Wait, no, that's not. Oh, you restarted. Okay, I was watching something else. Alright, oops.
Streams automatically turn into videos if I'm correct. Patris Clark G said "Vum today." What's this man's mean?
So, you said this was an Electron app?
Yes, I can actually show you that now if you'd like. Let me just do this one. Actually, I can just comment this out and it should run. Yes, it should run. Okay.
And that wait,
So right now I have it running right now just regularly in a browser.
Mhm.
So this right here is just a Chrome instance,
No.
just like any other app. I mean, it's styled slightly differently than maybe a website would be styled, but for all intents, like I could push this and it's a website. I'm now going to stop it, and we'll just close it. I wrote this Yarn dev renderer, but what came default in this environment, which I think was provided by Versal of Next.js, I think. I can't remember now, though. In terms of configuring Webpack is way beyond my patience. I'm not going to say my pay grade, but definitely my patience. And I believe that's what they've done here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to run the command dev, just yarn dev, yep. And what's cool about this is that it's the app that you just saw in Chrome, but it's a standalone runnable application. It packages Chromium. So it's a little Chromium instance running in a standalone shippable app. It's basically using Chromium as a native development platform. So what's cool is that okay, it's running here, but if you look at the other there's this other command, pack app, and I might have run it before, I'm not sure. No, I think I deleted it. It will create a executable that you can ship to, say, the, the Ubuntu Snap store or whatever, so that people can just install your little piece of software. I ran it on my Mac, and it generated a dot, I think it's a dot app, that you could then ship to the Mac App Store, and I haven't tried running it on Windows. I've honestly never used the Windows command line, but theoretically you can generate an exe as well. Let's see, do I have any information? No, I don't have any information. Oh, I do, yeah, I've got ingredients here. The other cool thing is that, well, it's cool to me. I'm developing it to be like very mobile responsive. So like this is what it would look like in an iPhone. So I'm honestly gonna try and I'm gonna get it to the state that I want it for my little spreadsheet purposes, and then I'm just cheekily gonna try to publish it on every platform that I can to see what I can get away with.
Okay, wait. So I'm a little confused here. Okay, so it's built in Electron.
It's
Right.
built on Node. This is gonna I'm not gonna be able to explain this tremendously to you because I only very barely understand it myself, but I will do my best. Node is a JavaScript headless JavaScript runtime that allows you to execute JavaScript code, and it has some libraries like being able to hit the network and being able to use the file system, etc.
Yep.
That is what this is implemented on, and that's why I can run it. It's actually a Next app. It's a Next app, just like my Order app front end. Like I think you worked a bit on that. It's basically the same as Picket in terms of stack. It's a Node application.
Yeah. I was just curious because Electron, that's a React thing.
Electron is a portable version of Chromium. In fact, I suspect. Let's see if this is true. Let's go to Discord. And I have
I'm almost certain.
a suspicion that if I do Control Shift I, no, is it this one? I believe that this is Chromium. Let's see. So what is the command? They might have disabled it, because in my Electron, I think it's Control Shift I. Is that it? Yeah, it is Control Shift I. Although there is Control R. Yes, you see it's refreshing here. Yeah. So this is almost certainly a browser, a packaged browser, in my opinion.
You keep going in and out.
Yes. What I'm saying is because I was refreshing. I'm trying to say that I'm almost certain this is a packaged browser.
Yeah, everybody's doing that.
Yeah,
nowadays.
yeah.
They ship one piece of code, and then for desktop environments they use Electron, and for everything else it's in the browser. Like Microsoft Teams does that, Discord does that.
Well, the cool thing is if you limit yourself to browser APIs, yeah, you can use Electron on the desktop, and you cannot do that on iOS, but you can use anything that mobile Safari supports. And I looked, and mobile Safari supports the database that I'm using, so like theoretically, I mean they do have a App Store policy against apps that are just like pointing to your public website, but this is not that. I could put it on a website, but this is actually made to be a standalone local application. So I'm hoping that they allow me to push it.
What is the front end framework or the component library you're using?
I'm using React. Oh, sorry, React Bootstrap.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Sorry. That as well. But you are using it is React.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Electron is
Electron is like desktop
It's like the
React,
runtime, right? It's
Yes.
like a runtime you can choose.
Can you?
like-
Sorry. Go
what's
ahead.
up?
Go ahead.
So to rephrase what Paul has said, Electron is it is like maximally a Chrome tab, essentially.
Yes. Yeah.
But the idea is that at build time you can choose parts of what makes a Chrome tab tick such that it can be a lot smaller than a Chrome tab. So it's like a self-contained binary. Like that's what there's a lot of criticisms to be lobbed around in Electron's direction. One of them is that you know, in the hands of a more amateurish attempt, it is essentially just a Chrome tab. But that's like an oversimplification. It's also not true really anymore. But
It isn't true anymore because their memory use is way lower than it used to be. It used to be, I believe, on the order of like 400 megabytes per Electron instance, and so you can quickly see how if your entire desktop operating system experience was Electron, you quickly run out. But I think they now have. When I checked mine on my Mac, it was on the order of like 50 megabytes, which is not unreasonable. Granted, I have a toy use case, so. But I also haven't optimized. I don't know.
But you can package it in such a way, the modern way to do it is you can package it in such a way that you don't pull in things you don't need.
Yeah, I think that's what this file is about. What's cool is that it's actually in TypeScript now as well, so you can. I can't use JavaScript because everything is just untyped and I have no idea what's going on. But I love being able to jump to the definition here and being able to see all the stuff that you can affect. So like traffic light position, I'm pretty sure that's where these buttons are. I mean, that's pretty cool to be able to control.
Oh damn! Alright. Yo, humor me. Can you just pop open your package.json real quick? I just want to.
Oh wow, we got a node connoisseur over here judging my package JSON.
This is basically everything we used before, right? Bootstrap, basically the latest version of Bootstrap says, yeah.
The most interesting thing will be this, Dexy.
Oh.
What is Dexy?
Dexy is the wrapper I'm using around the open indexed DB browser database.
Very cool.
Using the beta version.
I am, because
Living life on the edge.
so I read this beta release is going to be it's the Golden Master. It's being released like next week, and it was preventing me from being able to run it in Firefox. I'm not shipping yet, so I can run beta software, Dave. I'm not gonna have your fucking bullshit.
No more fucking unpull requested patches to your Java transpiler.
All right. Where's the test suite? Show it to me.
As if, Dave. As if. Well, my job. You know what? I've actually got to thank you because my job over the last couple of months has been a tremendous amount of fixing, shall we say, previous employees' bugs.
Lamau.
Dude, if you set up the testing environment, I'll write tests for this, just so I have more practice. But I don't want to go through the fucking
Tests in my code?
Yeah.
Tests in front end? What the fuck? Fucking dude, it looks correct. Test complete. Deadass, my and this other senior engineer's jobs these days are like minimizing the amount of damage that the front end can do. It's like it is like 100% like let our fucking designer first guy do his design magic, and literally anytime he needs to do anything, we prefer to fucking just give him a back end endpoint, just just do it in Scala. Just can't. It literally
Ooh, Scala, interesting.
so fast. Like there is no reason to do anything on the front end. Also, because the front like single page apps kind of just scare me. I don't understand them. So it's essentially just like forward this person a whole bunch of code and yeah, and JSON web tokens somehow make it like secure and go.
So why are you using like the primitive table tags? Is that...
I don't think there's a wrapper around them. I mean, last I checked, these work.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Okay, I keep forgetting.
I think there's a wrapper around table, which I have here, but I didn't think these had.
No, you're totally right. I forgot that that's the way it was in Bootstrap.
As you moved on at Papa, you've got wrappers around table cell.
Dude, honestly, I'm not a fan. Like, I mean, it's really nice that like, well, yeah. Actually, I'm not a fan. I would prefer to use a component library because the issue is that like, there's no documentation on how to use any of these components. That like, they're like, I don't think I've made a single custom component yet.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. My preferred approach is find something that has everything that you need and then work within it to like the best of your ability. Like sometimes something's gonna come up, designer wants something special, okay, but why are you reinventing the wheel?
Yeah, that's
Something that's cool to me also about Bootstrap 5 is because I'm on Ubuntu now, it's using the Ubuntu system font, meaning there is no flash of unstyled text. And it fits the system, and it doesn't increase any sort of memory size because of a web font. And if I were to run this, when I ran this on my Mac, it's using the system font on Mac, and if I were to run it on Windows, it would use, I think it's Segway is the Windows font. The obsession being making your website seem, your Chrome tab seem like a native app. That's the trick that I want to learn how to pull.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm really trying to push. Okay, I think I'm getting to a point where like we're like making starting a project where like there isn't really, or I might have the chance to like do some of the frameworks we use. I'm trying to get them to do Bootstrap. Like I was saying, I hate having to read through people's code to understand how to use a component as opposed to reading documentation.
Oh my god, yeah, dude. That was one of the things with React Bootstrap. I tried some others before. I was like, I guess I'm still using this. What were those?
Serial UI probably. Tailwind.
Oh yes, so Tailwind is amazing if you have the patience to like read through every single CSS class. But it's not batteries included enough for me. I think that's the term people use.
Dude, that too. I got so spoiled as like just having CSS classes provided by Bootstrap that it was even almost more annoying when I went to work on our marketing site. They like Text Center or like all like they have all of their own fucking custom classes, and it's like why? Like,
Yeah. Why?
The dude that
Why?
makes these custom CSS sheets is gonna know like what the fuck.
I totally agree.
The use this one. Framework 7.
What the fuck is that? So, where is it? I don't see it. Oh, never mind. Oh, general. All right.
General.
This is pretty cool.
Yeah, it works. It works. It's got a Svelte plugin. It
iOS, Android.
you know, it's what the one front end guy wants to use. It's what we're gonna use. Fucking A.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really good at like displaying data. It's like it's bread and butter, and that's what the company's about. So there you go. Too easy.
Yeah. This is really awesome, actually, all these transitions and stuff. Oh, wow, you can just change to Android? Oh, that's pretty cool.
The check out, like, let's see. No, that's not it. There's one thing we use all the time. Oh yeah, layout grid is very nice actually for
Oh my god, and
like,
they had their
forms.
own fucking breakpoints, like no grid. Oh,
They got, what do they got? Another thing that we use a lot that's very nice is
router.
oh the fucking busy thing looks cool too. Anyway, yeah, Zach's been using this for years, and so he's like, I like it. We're using it. Tight. It's fucking sick.
Interesting. It is. This looks sweet. Surprised I haven't heard of it.
Yeah, I've been having to learn Svelte. Svelte just to help debug, not necessarily because I'm doing front end work. But
Oh no, you
Svelte
wouldn't
is-
sully yourself with such lowly programming.
No, that's not,
You're doing front end work. I thought you were DevOps.
I thought you were smarter than that.
I do. Hey, that's not what that's not what I meant. It's like I don't know anything about it, and I
DevOps supremacist.
don't have time to learn it. But Svelte is sick. It seems like a very like powerful little. I don't even know if it would be called a framework or it's almost like a compiler. You know, it's like a fucking all-in-one CSS. You know, HTML. Fucking JavaScript little compiler. TypeScript too, I guess. That's TypeScript, but it works real nice and it's fast as fuck, boy.
Paul, how far out do you think you are from shipping an MVP of this thing?
I'm actually a decent way of the way there. I just did a little bit of a rework. So this is the section that I'm working on now. But check this out. If yeah, you see how this works? So if you put in your ingredients wherever you get them, whatever their cost is. Actually, just show you the input form here. So you fill out this form. Ingredient name, price and cents, number of servings, serving size, serving energy, serving fat, serving carb, serving protein. And you get your little database of ingredients. And then the next step is you build recipes from them. The canonical example for me is granola, which I happen to know makes about 165 servings. And I can't really remember now, but it's like 4 servings of pumpkin seeds, and I hit this little plus. So you can see this isn't right. It's putting in an ID here for reasons that aren't not correct, but I'm addressing that.
Are you a software developer that likes to bake?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Precisely.
You joke, but that software developer that likes to bake thing fucking got me my job.
It helped get me my job too. So.
Are you a software developer that also bakes? Were you telling me about the like either a fun idea you had or like you had heard on Hacker News or I forget. This is a Paul story for sure though, of like doing or maybe it was a Dave story. It was like querying a fucking GraphQL endpoint as like a job application.
Oh yeah, those exist.
Yeah. I think that was actually something well, I'm sure multiple software developers told me about it, but I first recall actually my brother telling me about it, where one place.
I honestly think it's a tremendous filter.
Yeah, huge filter.
As in, like, if you can't figure this out, no thank you.
Right. Sounds very interesting.
Okay, sorry. So you had this ID, you had that ID in there. You're working it out.
Yeah. Yes. So actually, let me run it in my browser again because I think I have my data there. Let's see. Do I? Yes. Okay. So this one's a little cooler because it's actually filled in. If I hit update here, I'm currently debugging that. But let's go over to the data tab where, because you're a software developer that likes to bake, we can scroll down and take a look at the ingredients in recipes table, which has 15. So here's an entry that's saying that there are 15 servings of ingredient with ID this in recipe with ID this. So let's see what this is. That's peanuts. And so once you've built up your sort of universe of recipes, and by the way, I'm going to make it so recipes can not only have ingredients, but also recipes are often composed of other recipes, as in particular, what I want to do is I want to be able to put in my recipe for bread, and then I, for instance, make sandwiches out of that bread, and I want to be able to track the calories and cost of all of this. So, like, I'll make like a tuna sandwich recipe as well, which will be composed of my bread recipe and my tuna salad recipe, and then you can create. Well, that's as far as I've really gotten, but after I achieve that, the idea is going to be that you can also put in your age, weight, and other metrics to be able, and like level of activity, and there are various formulas. In fact, I found a website with them all already implemented in JavaScript for determining, like, obviously BMI is an easy one, but there's also like maximum muscular potential. There's I can't rattle them off now. I have them saved.
I get you. Yeah.
There are formulas that you can run on your bodily characteristics to be able to determine like how many carbs should you ideally eat in a day if you are training very heavily, for instance. And what I find frustrating about my current system for doing this, it does work, and I've achieved moderate success with it, is if I'm manually editing all these spreadsheets all the time and kind of like, oh, I no longer want hazelnuts because they're too expensive or whatever it is. But then I have to go and I have to update all the other spreadsheets to. So I'm just getting very sick of it, and this is a completely narcissistic endeavor. But it makes me happy, and that's enough for me.
Sounds delightful. There's nothing wrong with just fucking taking a project and clicking away at it. That's pretty awesome. I've never done anything like that. Not on a personal project. I need money to motivate me to fucking sit down and do software.
The one other cool thing that maybe you guys would be interested in is if we go over to the application tab of Chromium here, and you can see the same thing in Electron. Here is the database that the browser manages for you and that you can interact with. So its design is somewhat interesting to me. Its key path, or key value, the value being a JSON dictionary. And you can have as many tables as you want and as many entries as you want, but they must be key value, and the value must be JSON. So, kind of unique. I think it's kind of like MongoDB. Although I'm not sure about that. I've never used MongoDB in production, but I understand that you're basically storing JSON documents.
It's extremely close to Redis. With just key values. Key value.
And I'm sort of abusing it to be able to do what are roughly like SQL-like joins by having a table that represents a many-to-many relationship between ingredients and recipes. And that is the source of the current trouble where if I can see if I can re-enable it. I think if I do this, get rid of that. I don't think this will work. Oh, it does work. So when I hit update Granola, it only has the records at this point of ingredients in recipes, and so that's a key ingredient ID, key recipe ID, and number of servings of that ingredient, but it doesn't have the name, and I'm unwilling to store the name in the ingredients in recipes table, because what if the name updates? The whole point of this entire endeavor is that is that I want things to stay up to date, and putting a name in here, while it would functionally work, and it's just not the right way of doing it. So I'm not doing it that way.
Do you have a do you have a key to name table somewhere? You could just like do a lookup?
Yes, so that's actually what I've been up to these last I've been also hanging out, but I've moved all database interaction into the database file, and I did this because I actually got it working earlier where it had all the names here, but I was like, do I really want database interaction in my form? And any reasonable person would be like, Paul, this is a personal project. Not only that, but you're not hitting the network. It's all local. So yes, of course, it's fine. Just put database calls in your form. But I don't know, something seemed wrong about it, so
the little hang-ups, right?
So yeah, I've moved all database. I've actually made the tables private because I kind of think like it's actually none of the business of users of this what the underlying data store is. And one of the advantages of this is, let's say I do want to make this networked in the future, then I can just implement this file with whatever my underlying store is, and theoretically the whole thing works.
This is a mono repo?
I don't even know what that means, but I think so.
Oh, I think it means.
Oh, whoa, Dave, you're throwing around vocab words that you don't know what it means? That's not right.
I thought I've heard you use it before.
What? I don't think I've said that. I think I've heard that Google's a monorepo, but I've very little notion of what that means. I think we'll have to check in with our DevOps genius, CJ.
Let me try this again.
I can tell you.
You back and your front end are both
Once you're done taking a
in
crack.
this directory?
What's up, Dave?
Your back and the front end are both in this directory?
There's no backend.
No? Wait, but all right. This is the beyond me at the moment.
The database is in the browser. So
Okay.
browsers
So,
are pieces.
Sorry. Real quick. So my general understanding of software is that you have a front end, you have a back end, and you have a database. And, like the front end talks to the back end changes stuff around in the database.
So this is the cool thing about IndexedDB. IndexedDB is a browser API that can function as a database. I should say it is a database. Having said that, it is not, like, my notion of a database is SQL. In particular, for an application like this, I would ideally like SQLite. But, interestingly enough, it was Mozilla that vetoed. Apple had actually implemented WebSQL, which you'll see here, and it was a standard for a while, but Mozilla vetoed it because their claim was SQLite has too many idiosyncrasies that it does not want codified into the web standard. What? I mean, SQLite is a tremendous piece of software, in my opinion. I'm always been very happy user of SQLite whenever I've needed it. People misuse it, but I mean, people misuse all sorts of things, so you can't blame the thing for being misused by idiots or well-intentioned, whatever.
Low time, yeah.
Yeah. So that's a little story about IndexedDB.
Gotcha. But just to confirm though, is my general understanding though typically correct then? Front end talks to back end, back end.
I mean, that's the shall we call it the standard model of web development, something like that. Yeah.
Just making sure that I'm not walking around with completely wrong.
Although one cool thing about IndexedDB is that a niche little ecosystem has sprung up around it, surrounding automatic replication and sharding of the database. So basically, the idea is you just you interact with IndexedDB whatever way it is that you want. And there are these little libraries that, in the background, will keep your server or their server synced to IndexedDB so that people can... Let's say you wanted to make a Google Docs competitor, like a Microsoft Word browser product. You could use IndexedDB as your underlying store for whatever your information is, and then you could basically one-click sync it with either a third-party software as a service or set up your own backend, either licensed. There's a couple open source versions. And the idea is like bada bing, bada boom, you have a data store that you're interacting with locally that's replicated on someone else's computer that they can interact with as well. That's not what I'm doing here, but there are products like that out there.
That sounds like a really novel use case.
Right?
Sounds like a very interesting, correct, novel use case. There are... I can see so many ways that this is completely abusable, especially because it is as versatile as Redis. People have used the absolute hell out of Redis. But yeah, it's just it's interesting. It's like IndexedDB, Redis, very similar in like mechanics, MongoDB, and friggin' what's it? Shoot, Amazon's Mongo clone. I forget what it's called. DynamoDB, and then all the sequels. Those are like the chief like 3 families that I can think of like web relevant databases. And then there's also like columnar databases where
I saw a lot of discussion of, I think it's an Apache product, PouchDB.
PouchDB. I'm not sure what PouchDB does.
I think it was. Let me see. Is that true? What is this? The database that syncs. Oh, CouchDB is the Apache product.
CouchDB is open source documented oriented NoSQL database. Okay, so that's like a Mongo. That's a Mongo kind of ish. Whenever you see document oriented NoSQL, that just means Mongo.
So, Pouch is one of the things that does what I'm talking about, or was talking about, where if it's available, you use indexed DB locally, and then when the network is available, it syncs your local database with the remote database, which can then subsequently be synced to other clients.
Cool.
And it's supposed to be like a one-click kind of configuration, right? Where you like install it, you put in you have the backend running, or you get your API key, and you can just be, ooga booga, boneheaded front-end developer, not
Wait, what? What's it? What?
not DevOps master race like CJ.
Actually, I
Yeah.
will say the DevOps. I fucking love the DevOps people in my company.
They tend to be kind of grumpy.
No, they're all super chill, and actually one of them like produces prog metal, like at his home studio and whatnot.
That's so DevOps, dude.
That's really DevOps, dude. DevOps is like that fucking the Satanist in Silicon Valley.
Oh, yeah. What the hell's his name?
Guilfoyle.
Guilfoyle.
Fucking that's the DevOps guy. Fucking Guilfoyle.
I'll be back in a few minutes.
Meanwhile, the only like novel skill that DevOps people have over software engineers is just fucking like patience to
Did you read the documentation?
fucking read documentation, dude. Like my entire job is meticulously reading documentation. It's crazy.
That's a big advantage over many of my peers in front end that I have, is that, yes, I mean, you can save yourself so much time if you just have good documentation on whatever it is you're using and read it. That's why I chose React Bootstrap. Their documentation is immaculate. No field left undocumented. I mean, that's in any like software product that you're utilizing, that should be the standard. What is this thing? What does it do?
That's why I have to I have to maintain a whole bunch of AWS stuff, and I have to maintain a whole bunch of Google Cloud stuff. But I prefer Google Cloud because the documentation's better, or it's more user friendly. They have this like thing that I wish I knew what they used, because I would straight up steal it. Their docs have this thing where you can like input what your actual like fields are, and then it modifies like the rest of the documentation so that like those little copy paste blocks have like exactly the command that you're going to use, and it remembers like what you put in last time, right? So like instead of you having to like infer and edit the little code blocks. You like input it once, and then everywhere it says region, it'll just use the region that you inputted at the top of the page. Super, super nice. Their tutorials are great.
I even found that working on Android, and I think some of that has to do with the fact that it's open source. So like if you've got I think one of the big challenges that Apple has long term is, and I only bring this up because, you know, it's where I started out, is that web is going to get good enough, and Android will get better faster eventually, I think, because there's just more people working on it, because it can, you know, they put Android on all sorts of devices. Although there's a fragmentation issue with that as well that they're fighting, but I think it's an overcomable problem. And the moral of the story is, Android documentation is way better than Apple's documentation. Apple's documentation has been good, but it is not good right now. It's in a very sorry state. All their new APIs are like basically a mystery to me.
It's like the difference between using Google Kubernetes engine versus Amazon Kubernetes. Like, they're both CNCF certified, right? They're supposed to be like, you know, reference implementations of the standard, but the Google one is just so much easier to work with, and they have a ton of little you know, embrace you know, you are here kind of thing, kind of sorry, what is it? It's embrace, expand, extinguish.
Yeah.
Like they're at like the expand section, but it's interesting because it's like Kubernetes started in Google and they open sourced it and donated it to CNCF. So I think Google actually is in the open source for the long run, is their bet, which I think is a good bet. Kubernetes is really nice, but Helm is awful. I can't stand Helm. I'm very glad that I don't have to write any of it. I just have to use it on occasion.
Realm.
Helm is
Helm.
It's like a package manager for Kubernetes. Like, you're supposed to be able to use Helm to just like install, you know, Postgres, and it kind of works like that, but in practice it's not fun to use.
Yep.
What else? You're coming to town tomorrow?
Yeah.
What? So I guess it seems like with Mickey and Kenny, they're doing something, and Quinn's he's out, but
We'll just we'll come hang out and we'll see what happens. And we should also mention I know you're actually pretty near to Philly, all things considered. CJ, are you around tomorrow?
I am not around tomorrow.
It's all good, dude. Just thought I'd ask.
Appreciate it though.
So like if you wanna meet up and chill, let me know. If you have other more intimate plans, of course, no worries at all. I am free this weekend. So. So Paul, I don't remember if you were playing PUBG during this, but did you ever use the PUBG report?
I think so. Yeah, I remember it was just a button you'd press, right? Like a yellow button. And...
Oh no, sorry. So PUBG report is a website where
Oh, okay.
It tracks like if you were either killed or if you killed a streamer on stream.
Oh, cool.
And that notifies you. So I had that happen yesterday.
Who'd you kill?
It wasn't anyone famous, but like anyone on Twitch. So it's not like just famous people, like anyone that streams, like it'll recognize it, and like it'll like create a little link and a little clip timestamp for you. So it just so happened that this me and my cousin were dropping in, and on the way down, this dude was like, "What's up, pussy?" and they were playing like pretty try hard, and like basically like it was me and my cousin, this other duo in South George, and we're leaving, and like the circle's really far away, so we have to go get a vehicle, and these guys beat us to the vehicle, so they go down to another vehicle down the road and start shooting out the tires to like fuck us over, and we shoot them while they're shooting out the tires. And then I got the PUBG report that it was a streamer. So what I did is I waited until they were online today, and then I went into the dude's chat and posted that link, and I was like, "Get wrecked."
So petty, dude. I love it. I absolutely love it.
I'm gonna start doing that to any streamer I shoot. Just gonna follow them, and next time they go live, just wrote in the chat.
Be like, hey bitch. Remember me?
Hey, if he didn't talk shit in the beginning, I wouldn't have said anything. But he went out of his way to drop immediately next to me, and public chatted me at the very beginning of the game. I don't mean to use such a charged phrase, but he was asking for it.
Who understands Java, like on the planet? It's not me.
You talk like classic
Like,
Java.
like who decided to make software objects tied to the file system? Like, why do they need to be the same name?
Yeah, doesn't Scala run on the Java virtual machine?
Oh, it do.
Isn't that basically saying like, all right, we messed up. JVM is great, but the way that it's generated, we're just giving up.
So Scala is more like,
More like Kotlin, right?
well, in that they both run on the JVM, and in my opinion, are objective improvements over Java itself. Yes, they are alike in that way, but Haskell is this compiled to machine code, pure functional language. It's more like a laboratory masquerading as a language. And so all of these math nerds from like 1960s onward have been like yelling from the rooftops like, everybody should use functional programming. It's bullshit that we don't. Just because you need to know a little bit of math doesn't mean you can't just be right. And so that, everybody rolls their eyes and says, shut up, old man, and then they fucking go invent another JavaScript framework.
Hey yo, continued employment.
So all of these old heads that know in their heart of hearts that functional programming is a much better way of doing things for mature professionals.
Meanwhile, I'm lost in a map function, by the way. Thank you. Also, fuck you.
They all got together and said, well, we can't let the fucking unwashed masses touch Haskell. Like, we'll never make Haskell an actual like thing that has to do work in the real world. It's too good for that. It'll be our fun little.
It's too pure.
Yeah, it'll be our fun little functional programming laboratory. We can just keep it that way. But we need to have something that's functional programming oriented that can also work in the real world, and also specifically work with bank software who have just gigantic throbbing boners for fucking Java. Like, oh, I need special certified Java runtime environments. Oh, I need it. They get so hard for that shit. It's ridiculous. And so they invented Scala, which is like it's an enterprise functional programming language that runs in the JVM. And you know what? It is probably the best compromise that I've seen between something that can do everything functional and something that can do everything in like an imperative paradigm. But it's really like learning functional stuff and trying to do things in a functional way. I mean, it makes it so much easier to fucking debug things. It's crazy how much easier it makes it to debug things.
I wish I could get into functional programming.
I mean,
I tried learning Elixir. It was
wow.
built on top of Erlang, and I don't know. Maybe it's just Elixir. So this is the only experience I've had with a functional programming language. But like the way that as someone who like is not a native programmer, if you will.
You're a front end engineer. We get it.
As someone who doesn't have a traditional background in computer science, I appreciate the verbosity of languages like JavaScript and Kotlin.
JavaScript is weird. JavaScript is super interesting because you can do a lot of functional stuff, and you can do a lot of like really nice functional stuff with JavaScript. Like awaits that's functional, baby. await keyword. I mean, you can't do that in a truly imperative language. So even just understanding how that works and being able to use it effectively is, I mean, that's a functional paradigm. That's like one of the really good parts that has like leaked into everything else is like a smarter way to do asynchronous stuff.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, I mean, like I can definitely see how functional programming would be fucking dope. Like,
And then when you really get advanced, you can start putting function signatures into your interfaces. But you know, all still a couple of years away.
I don't know.
Yeah,
What's the function signature?
Thanks. CJ's just digging at my failures.
I'm not. I think that it's not possible with your library, my dude. That was a joke. Come on.
That's one of the reasons. Oh, I know. I'm only a little salty. That's one of the reasons I moved everything into database, into it. One file was like, I am not convinced this is going to remain the same. So I want to minimize the damage when that happens.
But despite the gap that Scala bridged being super nice, it still has a lot of dumbass Java baggage, like camel case everything.
What date library does it use?
Yeah. Yeah. Does it use a logging framework that allows you to fucking remote execute code with like a fucking string that you can memorize? The answer might surprise you.
Remote code execution in my logs?
Java? What?
It's more common than you think.
Yeah. Somebody was in the 90s. They were just fucking downing. I'm talking like just putting it home, the Grey Goose. And they're sitting there and they're like, what if software objects? Wait, hold on now. What if I could serialize software objects and put it on the network? They just fucking, they're all everybody's like just soy facing so hard. And then fast forward to fucking 2022, whoever fucking suggested that shit, like, oh, let's have executable software objects that are not complete executables, but are you know, just big enough to where like they could slot into, you know, the right library and be able to run, you know, a small piece of bytecode, and let's be able to make it serializable in an unverifiable way, and then send it over the network. That sounds like a great idea. Call me crazy, but you literally just described like a virus, like not like a computer virus.
Right,
You literally
right.
just described like a biological virus, like a
And like major banking institutions are now relying on the static library that can't be changed for reasons, and so it has to be supported.
It's ridiculous, man. It's so like there's so many languages that are like that. C++ is also notorious for this, like backwards compatibility at all costs, and it's like sometimes you just gotta deprecate shit, my man. That's something that I think that the JavaScript and like front end engineers and like
Apple also gets it. Apple has like very little like
they understand it. They're like,
Yep.
you want to continue to play in the fucking big leagues, my man, you gotta fucking be comfortable with just throwing shit out.
Microsoft have never been comfortable with that either. the .exes from like '98 still work on Windows 10, right? I think they finally decided in Windows 11 to get rid of some of that.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. The backwards compatibility at all costs mantra. It's like simultaneously something that makes the companies that make these continuously backwards compatible products like a ton of money, but it's like, dude, we're still like dealing with raw pointers in the year of our Lord 2022. Like, you know how many fucking millions and millions and millions of dollars have been lost because somebody got a fucking null pointer exemption? Like, it doesn't need to be like this. It could just be better. Like, we have better systems. Nope. Gotta be backwards compatible.
I know I was praising Android earlier, but Google is also one of those companies. The amount of what are called app compat libraries that you have to navigate in order to just ship a working product in the year of our Lord 2022 is absurd.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It's like, oh, I have to use an app compat library if I want to change the title of this view? Okay.
And,
Guess.
to be fair to all parties involved, damned if you do, damned if you don't. They were phasing out Python 2 for 14 years, and there's still people using it.
Yeah.
That was one of my first tasks at this job. Actually, was to really fucking drive home the transition to Python 3. It's like I got hired. I got hired a year and a half after it was end of life. Right? It was end of life like January 1, 2020. I got hired in June 2021. A year and a half into the end of Python 2's life, I got hired and then started a transition to Python 3.
Did anyone even know? That's what
They did know, and they were very embarrassed. Like the product that I work on is built by extremely smart data scientists, but the thing that the data science community has gotten wrong is they hitched their trailer to Python, and the more I work with Python, the more I think that it is just a joke language that shouldn't be used for anything serious. It's so fragile. It is so fragile. I just can't stand Python. It's you know what Python's really good at, and I actually use it for this all the time. Python is really good at being a like a better bash script. Right?
Yeah, I've heard that.
It's like a
Personal little scripts that you write for your own sake. I've heard Python's awesome.
Python nails that. Like,
yeah.
If I've got an interface, like, okay, so this actually happens.
I mean, I do want to say the same as was said, depends on how old the person you ask, is said of Perl, and the lifespan of that was not good.
It's a good point.
As in, no one writes Perl anymore, I don't. Well, someone does, but...
Perl is extremely powerful, and there are nerds that still write it, but I don't think you should go out of your way to like learn Perl, you know? Or at least in my opinion, I don't think you should. But Python as like a, you know, if I've got some CRUD operations that I need to get done, and I do not want to click around a GUI to fucking update a bunch of secrets on like Terraform Cloud, for instance, like, you bet your fucking bottom dollar I'm going straight to Python. I am copy pasting a fucking token, and I'm just going absolute fucking ape shit on some API documentation. Like, nothing better. No better feeling either when you just you make your little script and you fucking, you know, run this thing and all of your stuff shows up exactly how you want it to. Oh, chef's kiss, man. Python can be really good sometimes, but that all of this machine learning stuff is kind of hitched to it. It's so sad.
I think it's probably similar to SQL in the sense that it was made. So let's assume that Python was made with your use case in mind. It made it very accessible to like people that didn't want to be programmers but ended up writing code. And so maybe that's where the machine learning community, like,
yeah. That's like you just described a lot of people. Like a lot of academics work with Python. That's what I mean by, like, when I say serious things, I mean serious things in my own, like, engineering profession. I don't mean serious things in, like, like, if you want to just do data science and you want it to, like, come up with the right answers and have really awesome frameworks for, like, how to do all the math, how to run all the fucking models, how to train a ResNet 52 and all this other fucking shit, like all the PyTorch stuff. If you want something that can do that, Python is perfect for that. But the gap between that and actually running a profitable business that's based on data is so huge that, I don't know, it's just hard to. Being that bridge is it's a difficult job, and it makes me so mad sometimes because it literally just could be better if we just didn't start. Yeah.
that's right. Everything should just be JavaScript.
Honestly, like,
I was
it's not even a joke. Like, literally,
when you were talking about Haskell or I think it was Haskell earlier. I was thinking, and so at what step does that transpile to JavaScript?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Haskell does not have a JavaScript target yet.
Yeah.
I think that's a yet. I honestly think that I would not be surprised if somebody's like working on that. I know that there's a Haskell WASM.
WASM is awesome.
A Haskell WebAssembly compiler. Yeah, there is.
So that's actually how SQLite JS works. Is they compiled SQLite to WASM, and they use IndexedDB as the data store for the file that is produced by the WASM.
That's amazing.
Right? Isn't that just incredible?
That's amazing.
It works too. I confirmed it actually works.
But it feels too icky.
Yeah, it's no way is that the right way to do things. I can't bring myself to do it.
It's too icky.
Yeah, no.
No, get out of here. Another thing that I've been kind of exposed to through this, like, enterprise software fucking world that I've never had to think about before is this thing called blanking on the name, Kafka.
I've heard of it, sure, yep.
What a interesting piece of tech that is extremely impenetrable, and man, I am learning the motherfuck out of it with a quickness, because it's like, all right, this is pretty foundational to the direction that the company's going in, and nobody really knows much about it, so tag not it. And I'm like, oh fuck, those goes. All right, here we go.
Who's got the longest beard?
Actually, it might be me, but
It's beside the point. Just beside the point, Paul.
anyway, yeah. So now I'm having to learn how to administrate this thing. Kafka. It's actually a super simple concept. It's just like a log. It's just like a append-only log that you can keep track of an index of, and little pieces of software that take things from that log and put them into the log, or take things out of the log. Not out. It will rather copy into the log from like a database and copy out of the log to like a different database, or you know an email server or whatever. So yeah, just a general purpose message bus, and it works really well, very fast. I cannot believe that there is a Haskell WASM compiler.
Is there really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I don't know if it's good or not, but it certainly exists. Well, you know what? Let's resurrect the fucking engineering channel, huh?
So someone is running it in production, dude. Someone has to be.
Apparently this company called IOHK.io. They have a cool little website. I don't know what talk they're selling, but very cool. I don't know how they're doing this, but it's cool and I like it. Actually, how are they doing this? This is tight. It's a blockchain company.
Oh no. Ooh, their website is dope.
That's what I was saying. Like their little like front page thing is tight.
Damn, that's sick.
Isn't that cool?
It's running well as well. Usually stuff like this just chunks.
But it's like very smooth. Yeah, what?
Oh, it's got momentum as well. You can throw it around.
Yeah.
That is so cool. All right, I'll buy it. What is this?
Founded in 2015 by Charles Hawkinson and Jeremy Wood, IOHK is one of the world's preeminent blockchain infrastructure research and engineering companies.
Are they pre-rendering this this screensaver thing on the blockchain? Because I mean, this is magical.
Wait,
Yeah.
what is it? Dude, I just clicked this. This is fucking sick. What is this? Like particle physics? Fucking ridiculous.
This is the company that is running the fucking Haskell to WASM. I bet you that this is how they're doing that. Like, this is very functional.
It's
Fucking wild.
move your mouse like really fast. It's really cool to watch.
Oh no, yeah, I was doing that, yeah.
And like spin it around and go up and down. Whatever they're selling, I'm buying, dude.
Yeah, it's super interesting.
I'm gonna full screen this bitch. Let's go.
Gonna go into the console. Yeah. What's going on here?
I'll copy paste that JavaScript. Thank you very much.
Yeah. You made this? I made this.
Smooth.
I found my new personal website. It's gonna be great for my stream thumbnail.
How the fuck?
Oh damn it. Totally changed on me.
How are they doing this? I wonder if it actually is WASM. I'm looking for it. There's some JavaScript.
It's pure CSS.
Is it really? That's amazing.
Oh,
No,
okay. Actually, so it's an
No way.
it's an iframe. I might have a link to that we can go to this for full screen. I do. This is that full
Static
screen.
IO HK fluid too, right?
It's somehow even better just full screen. Okay, let's take a look what we got going on in here.
It's fucking ridiculous.
Oh
my god, dude! Like, there's an effect when you like change the screen size.
What does Fluid 1 look like?
GP.
Oh, that's definitely a bug. Yeah, check this out. Let's see.
Oh, it's not secure. They're just serving this straight up HTTP.
So it's something called GPU Fluid 1.3.
Yeah, check this out. All right.
Very, very, very cool fucking infrastructure research company with HTTP fucking hosted static.
Alright, so I'm gonna see if I can get the. Can you see my screen?
Yeah. Damn, that's sick.
That's definitely a bug, though.
It's cool. So, how did you WebGL fluid experiment?
Yeah, it looks like GPU Fluid 1.3, GPU Fluid experiments.
What is WebGL?
Wait, so are we just
WebGL is OpenGL implemented, I think, through WASM,
Dude,
which I guess would make sense for what they're up to. This is where it comes from.
oh, these fuckers. They're just taking it. They took our chips.
Oh yeah, in fact, so if you go to his GitHub.io, where he's got this up and running, they did just straight up take his thing.
That's amazing. What? And this guy also does not have it. On HTTPS. So
What are
they didn't even
what are HX files?
HX?
Yeah,
I don't know. What are
hacks file. I've never heard of this language
I've
before.
seen this before.
So this is just shaders. Oh, this is sick. I'm so glad that I fucking clicked on this. These crypto grifters. Fucking
I gotta say, they have been totally discredited now that we know that they stole it, right?
100%. Crypto grifter. Fucking yeah. A Haskell WebAssembly compiler in production. Yeah, where's the production, my dude? This is tight though. I'm super glad that they stole that because that was ass. They made some modifications. It is a little bit different. Oh, you can have. Oh my goodness, there's settings on the Haxiomic one. There's settings. The ultra high. Solver iterations. Oh, let's go with 40.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I got a GPU. Let's fucking crank that shit.
It's not using yours, right? It's using some remote one.
I think it uses yours. I think that's what the WebGL is about.
I'm running PUBG at the moment and this at the same time. I don't.
It's pretty efficient, dude. It's running locally, 100%.
This is extremely badass. How would you even go about like quality ultra high solver iterations? Let's go with 50. Why not? Reset particles. Stop fluid. Reset particles.
Quality, ultra high. Let's go. Oh yeah, we've entered the matrix.
Hit stop fluid. It'll freeze it.
Did you set your quality to ultra high? Because it is dope. Oh, particle count, that can go up? Okay, let's go. 9999. Oh no, I can't do it.
I think it goes up when you increase like the size of your screen. Maybe? No, that's not true. Alright, wide. I just lied to you. Just right to your face.
I am gonna put this in general because the people should know.
It's pretty fucking dope. Got a mobile app for it too.
You're posting Haxiomix one, right?
Yeah.
Fuck the crypto grift, bitch. Yeah, this is fucking sick, dude. If you reset the particles while the fluid is still moving,
Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah.
it holds its momentum. God, this is so fucking cool.
Oh, you can visualize what a sneeze is like by if you just click and drag and let go. It's like those. This is what happens every time someone sneezes.
Oh yeah. It's like a shockwave. And we'll fucking, yeah. That's tight. So you guys hanging out in the city tomorrow?
Yeah.
I guess that. Yeah.
Oh sweet.
When did wasn't Savic supposed to do something?
Yeah. Unfortunately, it was snowed out.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna reschedule that to this weekend, but I guess not.
Yeah, I don't know. Me and Yasmin ended up going over and playing board games with him and Molly. That was fun.
Nice, nice.
We were the only ones who could make it though, because it was like fucking very snowy. We barely made it. I almost fell on my ass. It was very funny. In hindsight. Savic treated us to beef patties, which I'd never had
Beef
before.
patties, like
Jamaican beef patties,
Yeah.
yeah. They were pretty good. They were spicy.
Nice. You guys hear me?
Yeah.
Alright, my computer's like not responsive. What's going on? I can open up Task Manager, but I can't fucking click in it. I'll be right back. I gotta fucking turn my computer on just so it's just freezing. Actually, can I do this? Live, y'all. That. Responsive? No. going with your lady?
Oh, pretty good. Obviously, seeing her tomorrow. Yeah, nothing but good things, really.
Nice. Have you like, so obviously I know you've gone to see her in the city and like have her back to home. You guys like travel anywhere else at all? Or?
We've gone to New York.
Oh, nice. Did you go up to see Chach?
Yes, yeah, we did. In fact, I might even go next weekend as well.
Nice. Cool. You're still working on Picker, right?
Yeah.
Has there been any more interesting
I wish, dude. Honestly, it's stabilized since we signed the contract. It's actually nothing but hugs and kisses really these days. Like I send him a sort of monthly update, and I speak to James kind of weekly, and yeah, they're broadly very happy. Having said that, we haven't shipped our latest version to production. I claim it's ready, but I sort of have a policy of course I like it, I made it. So it would be nice if someone else could test it. So I'm not eager to ship it till production until someone else has done, I don't know, just like the system critical flows, and I guess they haven't got around to it or something.
I'm head out.
Peace, bro.
Peace.
Yo, how fun has PUBG been?
Honestly, I like it. I mean, like, it's still, like, you know, there is a clunkiness to it that is more a feature than a bug, that it is not like COD. but you know they've made improvements. I noticed desync quite a bit less. I mean, it's still there occasionally, but I noticed quite a bit less than it maybe portrayed in memes.
No, I've heard good things, dude.
The loot is better. Like I think the loot is much more balanced now. I like it. It's a lot of fun.